They don't pay. My cat is coming for a visit. Hi, Housey. He wants, look that way. Say hi to the camera. You want to be shy? Come here, I'll spill my coffee. There goes my pen. He's like, no. He just wants his treat, so he's gonna be a little brat. Look at the camera. Say hi. Do you see yourself? he's looking. Hi, I'm Donna from Lost Closet 12, and today I have a Flip Friday for you for the week of, did I not write it down? Well, let's look at last week. October 4th through, I believe, the 11th. If I am wrong, I will make a correction because I didn't write it down. And yeah, the sales are mediocre. I mean, they're not terrible. For me, I'm only part-time. I write new listings. I've been trying to do it more, but 1-2 days a week. And the weather's changing, so if I sound a little froggy, it's because the weather's changing, and I always get a little congested. If it gets hot to cold, cold to hot, I always get a little congested. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload new content. So let's just jump right in. First up is this little Zoomy bot replacement Ami toy figure. He's approximately 3 inches. He was super cute, and it was a bins pickup. I wrote him in January, and he sold for $17. My cost for him was 8 cents, so that's a nice little return. And then I have, I sold 2 almost back to back. I had picked these Caterpillar up at the bins, and I broke it into replacement parts. If I find something like this again, I'm going to try to sell it as a whole, because I just feel like I might have done better. It would have been already gone if I sold the whole Caterpillar rather than part it out. I have 2 more left. Well, anyway, this was a red, white, and blue pickup. I think in a ship with me, I said it was a bins pickup, but it was actually a red, white, and blue pickup. I wrote it in October of last year. My cost was approximately $2. It sold for $8.74. And we have a brown camo toddler size 8.5 sneakers Vans skate SK8 skate hook and loop sneaker. They were cute. They were brown. These were a a red, white, and blue pickup. I took my average cost. These shoes were probably priced at like $3 or $4, but I picked them up and I averaged my cost for all of my shoes. So my average cost for the shoes that day was $5.25. I wrote it in August, and they sold for a whopping, oh no, I'm looking at I think I wrote that down wrong. No, I did not. They sold for $8, and my cost was $5.84, and they were a red, white, and blue pickup. And then up next, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I should have waited to do a video. I'm just like not feeling it right now. Okay. So these were also a red, white, and blue pickup. Ozark Trail Boot Slippers men's size 10, brown, water repellent, slip-on, lightweight. These, I know they don't look like much, but I picked them up for a couple reasons. They're new with tags. They're a size 10, and they're water repellent. They're outdoor shoes, so like new with tags, water repellent, good size. Other than that, I might have left them. They were a red, white, and blue pickup. $5.25 was my cost. and they sold for $17.99. So not, I mean, not great, but not terrible. Here we go. I'm so sorry about that. UGG women's size 9 sheep's. Yeah, I misspelled sheepskin. I misspelled that. Leather boots, flat, 511. 5 is the code on the inside. They had a few marks on them, but otherwise in good condition. They were red, white, and blue pickup. I wrote them in March. My cost was $4, and they sold for $21.12. And I have UGG up here twice. Paw Patrol. This was just a little, this tickled me. I thought I was looking for something bigger in my box. I was like, is this it? Like, Paw Patrol Robo Dog Mission 2-inch figure robot white. Whitefoot is something I saw when I was looking it up. I used Google Lens. Some had, I think, a gray foot, and some of them had white paws, Whitefoot. And I saw that the ones with the Whitefoot were selling for more than the other ones. I don't know what the reason is. I just followed what everyone else was doing, and I priced it up. This was a bins pickup. I wrote it in February. My cost was 12 cents, and it sold for $19 on Poshmark. These were a find in a red, white, and blue bag from, it was a jewelry bag from the red, white, and blue. And they, where am I? My cost was approximately $2. They were written in March, and they sold for $9. Not a huge return, but I already had it, and I could have discarded it because it's really not that big of a deal, but they were unused on the card. They were cute, so I listed them. Some resellers who do jewelry will only list things that they can get like $30, $40 for. If I'm buying a bag and there is something that has no damage, I'm going to list it, because these take no time to list. You know, I sometimes Google Lens it, and then I look at the keywords other listings have in them, and I'll do that. But they take no time to list, and they take up no space, and I made a couple bucks, so why not, right? These, I kept saying Eddie Bauer when I did a Ship With Me video. They were not Eddie Bauer. I even wrote it on the package, Eddie Bauer. They are Land's End. Women's corduroy size 14 tall, sienna straight leg, Land's End. That's all I wrote. These, I'm missing one. No, I'm not. These were a bins pickup. My cost was $1.69. They were written in August, and they sold for $15.19. This is a Star Wars Phantom Menace Variety Club lapel pin heart shape art. This is the other thing I was doing in the Ship With Me video, and I could not get it out. R2D2 and then C3PO. That still was hard, and I was reading it. I don't know why. Well, anyway, this came from a smaller bag, and my average cost was 75 cents from the red, white, and blue. I wrote it in June, and it sold for $6.29. These I just loved. These are so pretty. Karen Kane, size medium, paisley print, wide leg pants, blue pull-on lightweight boho. You could have used beachy resort wear. I don't even know what else. You could have used so many keywords. They were a bins pickup. $1.28 was my cost. They were a recent pickup in a recent write in August of this year, and they sold for $14.39. These, my husband likes to, I know I've said before, he likes to dig to the bottom and get all the toys, and I generally let them sit unless if I see something that's really good, and then I'll go through them and lot them up. So this is probably what happened with this. This is a Mattel Beauty and the Beast Belle Magic Clip No Dress ×2. And they were bins pickup. They cost me pennies. They were written in February and they sold for $8 on Poshmark. This I just thought was really cute. This again was a recent pickup in August. It was a bins pickup, 88 cents. Women's skirt, gingham check women's size 10, short stretch pockets, Zach and Rachel. It's just a stretchy skirt, and I just thought it was cute. It was a bins pickup, 88 cents. It was written this past August, and it sold for $11.99. And this, I thought, this was cool. This, again, was a red, white, and blue bag pickup. $2 was my average cost. I wrote it in July, and it sold on Depop for $12.99. The thing about Depop, people make offers, and you're like, okay, thank you, yes, please, and you accept it, and they don't pay. My cat is coming for a visit. Hi, Housey. He wants, look that way. Say hi to the camera. You want to be shy? Come here, I'll spill my coffee. There goes my pen. He's like, oh. He just wants his treat, so he's gonna be a little brat. Look at the camera. Say hi. Do you see yourself? he's looking like he's not having it. Okay. I lost my pen. I don't need it. I have a pen right here. Okay, where was I? Well, anyway, they send you an offer and you accept the offer and then you never get paid. I don't understand that, but this sold on Depop. It was an offer. I accepted it, and or was this an offer? I think it was. That's my cat. He's behind the camera now, so he's probably gonna bump it. He's not gonna stop until he gets treats. He was so little. He used to sit in he used to sit in the palm of my hand, and he was so sick when we found him in the yard. He was a stray. I was the only one who didn't want him, and my daughter and I took him to the vet, and we split the bill, and well, she paid more. I feel like she paid more than I did, but yeah, so now he's my baby. He gets all the treats. He gets his bed, his toys, catnip, the whole 9 yards. My vet loves him too. So, well, anyway, back to the point. Anyway, this sold on Depop. I forgot my story. $2 was my average cost, July, and $12.99 on Depop. I don't know if this was an offer I accepted. I know I got an offer on this, but I don't know if someone else jumped in and bought it. This $12.99 doesn't sound like an offer. These I've had forever. These, whenever I used to go to the Goodwill Dollar Day, like every week, like it was like a job that I went every week and went to Dollar Day. I don't even think they have Dollar Day anymore. I almost never go into a regular Goodwill. Once in a while I will, but not often, and I almost never find anything. The lady I work with, she goes, and she said they don't do the Dollar Day. It's $1 and $2 now. I don't know. I have not been since. So yeah. So they were a bins pickup, $2.05. They were rewritten in September of last year, and they sold for a whopping $3. That's at 80% off. So yeah. They were, I didn't even read the title. Women's red high heels, size 7 slip-on, slim pump, fox suede, night out. X-Peel is the brand name. And this is something else that recently sold. Starlink Battle for Atlantis, Nintendo Switch, Star, Fox, R-Wing, and Stand as photos. When I did research on this, there was like parts and pieces and the complete set. I think this was missing a little bit if I remember correctly, but it is so cool. And where did I get this? This was a bins pickup. And that's not straight. Did I photo the little guy in there? Yeah. He slides in under the ship, and there he is. That's where he slides in. And then I took a picture of the bottom. I always do, because sometimes similar items will look almost identical, but there are slight differences, and if the buyer sees a code on the bottom, it might help them figure out if that's what they're looking for, or if they need to move on and continue their search. But it was cool, and I am shocked that it survived. Where are we? There we are. The little guy's cool. Well, anyway, this was a bins pickup. Cost me 98 cents. I wrote it in April, and it sold for $11.04. I'm sure I probably could have got a little bit more for it, but I didn't put it in a box or bin. I left it on the shelf, and as you see, my cat likes to climb up on things. He's not generally in that room unless if he's in there hounding me for treats while I'm working, but you never know. So I was glad to see it gone, and that is it for this Flipped Friday. I'm sorry for the raspy voice. That'll clear up when the weather stays more consistent. If that makes any sense. And I'll see you in the next one. Again, don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to be notified, hit the notification bell. And leave me a comment in the bottom and let me know what you think of the video. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.